Hi guys, I'm a food editor at Asian Magazine. Today I'm with Chef Nick Liu in his restaurant, Dailo restaurant. Dailo restaurant is number 8 in Toronto and number 18 in Canada. So today we are with Chef Nick to reveal his secret behind the huge success of his restaurant. So,
Pleasure to meet you. Thank you. To meet you.
so can you tell me about yourself? Let the reader know more about you.
Sure. My name's Nick Liu. I was born in Toronto, and this is my restaurant, Dailo. We do new Asian cuisine, and it's just kind of a new take on Asian classics.
So, what is the concept behind the restaurant, and what is the food you are trying to cook and bring the message to the customer?
So, I guess when we first got into this, we were just kind of trying to change the format and the opinion about Asian cuisine. I'm French trained, and I wanted to bring a lot of kind of French techniques and and plating to my culture. We tend to take a little bit of Asian classics, maybe modernize them with a little bit of some plating, or just kind of a new thinking or new idea, deconstruction, and and then we've you have what you have on the plates here in Dailo. It's modern Asian and new Asian cuisine. I guess I came up with new Asian cuisine because it was so hard to kind of pinpoint what the type of cuisine we actually do, because it's not like when we have people that are Chinese come here, they're like it's really good, but it's not Chinese food, right? So we're creating new Asian food, right? New Asian cuisine. We're using a lot of ingredients and a lot of farmers that are around from
Canada?
In Canada, but mostly in Toronto and Ontario. Most of our food is all local. My background, my mom's background is Hakka Chinese from South Africa, and when they were in South Africa, they didn't actually have any Chinese ingredients, right? So they had to kind of create Chinese ingredients with what was around them, what they could get locally. And I kind of take that same philosophy here at Dailo. We take Canadian ingredients and we kind of turn them into, new Asian classics. I'll start with this one that's in front of us.
Okay.
This is sort of like a Peking duck idea, right? So it's all the elements of Peking duck. It's all the flavors of Peking duck, but kind of twisted around. So it's so it's just presented a little differently. The way we cook the duck is 24 hours sous vide at 65.5 degrees, and it makes the meat like very, very soft. In the sous vide, we actually cook in a master stock. We take the master stock out, we make a glaze out of it, and glaze the duck and dry it, right? So the skin, the flavor of the master stock glaze dries right into the skin, and then we deep fry it, right, to give it a little bit of crispness. Brush it with the glaze again. Throw it in the oven to caramelize the glaze. Glaze it, to give it the color. Glaze it again, and then throw it in the oven again. So this process gets done about 3 times, and then we plate it. We slice it, and then put the leg and the wing on, and then you have your cucumber salad, right, which is done the exact same. When you have Peking duck, you have your cucumber and your scallion. But then the pancake we make in house, and then we deep fry them and kind of sprinkle for a little bit of texture. So all the elements of Peking duck is there. It's just kind of deconstructed. I guess another one that I displayed for you today was the whole fried trout. The trout we get from a farm that is local, and we've been dealing with them ever since we've opened. So it's a farm that is out of Ontario, and it's the only trout we use. When we get the trout, it's rigor mortis, and it's got all its guts and it's basically killed that day. So it's the freshest ingredient you can ever get, and in my opinion, it's one of the best. So what we've done with the whole fried trout, right? Because when you go to Chinese banquet, you'll get a whole fried fish sometimes, and I think for this style of restaurant, we don't want the diner to work too hard, right? So. But also on the hindsight, when I go to Chinese banquet, I have the fried fish. The bone part is one of my favorite parts, right? I think it's the best part, right? Because with all meat and with all protein, all the best meat is on the bone. So what we do is debone the fish, right? Cut it into little nuggets, deep fry the little nuggets, and kind of replace it onto the deep fried carcass of the fish and put it on the board. So you have easy to eat, right? And it has 3 dipping sauces, a green curry aioli, right? So it's kind of like fish and chips, right? So you got your mayonnaise
But
base.
the difference is the customer can enjoy the bones too.
The customers can enjoy the bones too, which, like when you take it to some tables, the whole entire board will be completely like diminished, and like there'll be like a little pile of bones just like kind of piled up in one little corner, and then sometimes it comes back and all the meat is gone, all the sauce is gone, but all the carcass has not been touched. So we give people their kind of own choice on what they like to do. But that's, for me, that was one of the first dishes that I came up with when I was kind of doing this concept for Dailo. And it's probably one of the dishes that will never come off the menu. Yes.
So, is any memorable experience, special experience in your career you can highlight to the readers?
I've done a lot of traveling in my life, and I've done a lot of, I've worked in a lot of amazing places. I started off at 360, the CN Tower, which was my very first restaurant I ever worked in. Then I went to George Brown. Then I got my externship at Scaramouche, and I stayed at Scaramouche for about 9 years and kind of like really honed my French cuisine. And then later on, when I traveled, I worked in a lot of Michelin star restaurants. I worked at the Fat Duck, which was the #1 restaurant at the time. And when I came back, I took a sous chef position at Splendido with David Lee, and that at the time was the #1 restaurant in Canada. And and then I went on my own and took over a little tiny restaurant called Niagara Street Cafe, which was an amazing experience because it was very small. It was 32 seats, and we made everything in house, and it was one of those really massive learning experiences. It was constantly being creative and kind of pushing the boundaries. And at this time, I was actually learning how to cook, with my grandparents, and learning a few of their recipes and kind of incorporating that into my cuisine. I can't really pinpoint one special moment. I mean, all my life, I guess, as a chef has been special moments, and there's a lot of chefs I give a lot of respect to, because they've taught me the right way to think about being a chef and think about food and think about ingredients. So I've been very fortunate in my life.
And you sum up your story into the dish you make.
Yeah, in a sense, Dailo and the food here at Dailo all my experiences in life are on a plate. From my French experience to traveling to Asia and working in Thai restaurants, and going to Singapore and learning a lot of like the hawker stand style food. It's all wrapped up into every dish is kind of wrapped up into like my story and where I've come to this point in my life.
Thank you, Chef.